The walls feel like they are closing in.
As the walls close in around the president.
Donald Trump feels the walls closing in.
I think this is a guy who feels like the walls are closing in.
The walls are closing in on him.
Because the walls are closing in.
The walls are closing in on the president.
Now the walls appear to be closing in.
Really kind of the walls closing in on him.
The walls are closing in because the walls are indeed closing in.
I think at this point the walls are spinning.
The legal walls are closing in.
The walls are closing in on President Trump.
The walls, meanwhile, are closing in on the President of the United States.
The walls closing in on President Donald Trump.
It appears that the walls are closing in on this president.
It feels that the walls are closing in on him.
The walls closing in on him.
So the walls are closing in.
And the walls are closing in.
That the walls are closing in on the president.
Are the walls closing in?
The walls are closing in on the presidency.
It says as the walls begin to close around him. The political walls closing in on him.
This is a president that feels the walls closing in.
The walls are closing in on Donald Trump.
I think the walls are finally closing in.
The walls.
The walls. The walls.
The walls.
The walls.
Walls and the walls.
The walls. The walls.
The walls.
Walls
are closing
in.
Closing
in.
Closing in.
closing in on.
It's closing in.
The walls are closing in
on President Donald Trump.
He's not looking forward to any of it. He's horrified. He's just talking big. The walls are closing in, as has been said before.
This is a Bronx-bound 5
This is infrared, and we're returning to Foley Square for the third time in 24 hours so that you don't have to. It's Friday, March 31st, 6 p.m., and about 24 hours after the press began reporting that Donald Trump was indicted by a Manhattan grand jury. So, that action, whatever court action there is, would center around Foley Square, perhaps as early as Monday. We came last night. There were hardly any press vehicles. Just within 2 hours of the indictment being announced. And we came this morning before 8 a.m., sometime between 7 and 8. And there was lots of press coverage. Sorry. This will leave us in the middle of Foley Square. Okay, all these vehicles parked here are press vehicles. Here's the Trump indictment tour, a new tour being offered by Big Bus. Okay, this has grown since this morning.
Only for a month now, but I've been with Spectrum for my 5th year.
Okay, well, there are more people here now than this morning. Hey, what do you call this? Satellite town? Alright, so with people taking pictures of people taking pictures of people taking pictures, this is it for now, in a story that will undoubtedly be continued. As early as Monday, we hear. We also hear no sooner than Tuesday. So, this is infrared. And this is what you've been watching.
Si es un delito menor, se le posa en la parte de la